This lesson is called How to Manage and Retain Long-Term Clients, and it will show you how to keep profitable, ongoing relationship with clients so you can get paid monthly. This lesson will consist of us going over how you can continue following up with speed. So once you've closed those clients, your follow-up does not stop. Delivering urgency and delivering value with speed does not stop. If anything, you should continue to serve at the highest level possible. This will help you build those long-term relationships with clients. Then we will discuss how you can provide weekly updates and reports. This is how you can continue being an excellent communicator throughout your relationship with that client, as well as how you can create a positive customer experience. This is all about delivering that customer service that is more than just service. It's an experience to the customer. So when they're working with you as a freelancer, they know that you are the best fit for them. And every time they get on a call with you or they work on a new project with you, they're always left with a positive taste in their mouth because you leave that positive experience based on how you go above and beyond for them. And becoming a part of the team is how you can continue to create that positive customer experience. When a client feels that you as a freelancer are really taking charge of your role and you're putting yourself in the shoes of the company and really going above and beyond, that's when they are going to be much more willing to really build that long-term relationship with you and pay you for years and years to come. Because the clients that I had in the beginning, I always delivered the best work possible, and a good amount of them are still with me today. And that is years and years down the line. So you can do this. Just remember, you're working with people. Anything you're doing with freelancing, you're in the people business as well. So don't only focus on the value of work you're providing, but also on the level of customer experience and how much you're putting yourself in the shoes of the company so they know that you are really becoming a part of their team. The reason managing and retaining long-term clients is important is because of recurring revenue and the benefits that it provides. Firstly, recurring revenue allows you to escape the clock so you can get paid on the value that you provide and not the time that it takes you to complete a task. When you can escape the clock, that is when you will start to get true freedom. Because when you're no longer getting paid for the time that you put in and you start getting paid for the value that you're providing and the skill set that you're offering, that's when business owners will start to be happy to work with you and pay you those higher rates. When I work with business owners, they pay me thousands a month because that is my minimum fee. And the reason they're happy with that is because I'm good at the skill I offer. When I run online ads for my clients, I make them tens of thousands of dollars per month. So know your worth here and make sure you're offering a profitable skill that will allow you to escape the clock. And it's okay to start out with some hourly jobs or even sprinkle them in to your freelance client mix. But eventually, you want to be able to bundle your services together and charge $1,000 to $2,000 a month for your services. That is how you are going to build all of those recurring revenue benefits. Also, when you develop recurring revenue, it allows you to increase your profitability. You can start to make $100 to $150 an hour with this model when otherwise you wouldn't be able to charge anywhere close to that rate hourly. As we saw in the previous example, you can begin to add more skills to the table and increase that monthly retainer much easier than it would be to double your hourly rate. It also gives you the ability to scale. When the scope of work changes in a project, when you're charging a fixed price, you can then scale your fee to match what the new scope of work is. Once you have those higher profits and a skill bundle in place, it's easier to just add and then upgrade your fee. So if you're offering $500 a month and then the client wants you to do a couple more things for them, you can then pitch them $750 a month or $1,000 a month with those new services in place. So it allows you to scale much easier. If you were on an hourly basis, they would just keep throwing things at you and they would just expect you to get things done in as little time as possible. But the truth is, when you're working hourly as a freelancer, there's really not that much of an incentive to complete things at an urgent pace because you're getting paid by the hour. So a lot of freelancers will just stretch the clock. So you can also use that as you're selling and negotiating with clients. Let them know that wouldn't you rather have me work as quick as possible on these projects? An hourly model doesn't support that. Don't be afraid to ask those hard questions and to confront the truth. It will help you greatly when you go to begin to scale. And lastly, recurring revenue also gives you the benefit of predictability. When you're charging clients on a monthly basis and you're putting in your contracts that they need to give at least 30 days before they cancel, you were able to build a stable monthly income. And ultimately, this delivers you peace of mind. Because that is one of the things with freelancing. If you don't do it the right way and you don't build a profitable business model, you are not going to have that predictable income. And that's why some freelancers don't have that profitable business built. And that's the difference between just being a freelancer and making some money and having a real business built. Focus on this recurring revenue because this is one of the most sensitive pain points when it comes to freelancing. You need to be able to communicate your value and charge monthly for it. You don't have to worry about where that next job comes from when you've built this solid foundation first. Now we're going to go over how you can maintain clients by continuing to act with urgency. Clients will also put you through what I call the trial phase. So just like I showed you how you can go out there and get those trial clients, clients will also put freelancers they hire through an initial phase where they're testing you out. So for example, one of my clients I had, that's one of my biggest clients today that gives me referrals every single month. They were very strict at first. They wanted to see screen recordings of every single thing I did after every work session. They wanted me to log every detail and follow up with them on a daily basis. And this was no problem for me because I knew they were putting me through a trial. And they had even told me that their last freelancer they worked with really didn't help them out and wasn't giving their all. So I knew this client, number one, needed a good freelancer, and number two was just testing me and putting me through this trial phase. So when you understand that, you can make sure you have your mindset in a place where you're always ready to act with urgency and you're ready to go above and beyond when needed, especially in those first few months when working with a client. Because I agreed to doing all of those things, fast forward a few months later, they turned into one of my most loyal clients and I already have 3 referrals for them. So it's not always about having that trial phase last the entire relationship. It's really about getting through that trial phase and proving to them that you are a great freelancer. The truth is, if you don't show them that you are going to deliver even more than you're charging in value, they are probably going to keep you in that trial phase and then eventually hire another freelancer to take your role. That's why it's important to make sure you're always keeping this in mind as you begin to land those first few clients. Next, continuing to act with urgency and speed is vital, and this is also with your communication with clients ongoing. This isn't just when you're landing jobs and when you're getting that deal signed. This is the whole relationship and the entire length of you working with that client. 71% of consumers say that valuing their time is one of the most important factors. Speed is one of the new ways you can achieve a great customer experience. So even if you're just starting out and you're not an expert freelancer yet, you can combine your skill set with your ability to act with urgency and speed on a consistent basis to separate yourself from the pack. Also, keep in mind that talk is cheap. Show your clients through actions. Even once you get the job and the client has started paying you, don't just let your words do the talking. Let your actions do the talking. Start to get those results that you promised in those big claims during your proposal process. So don't just tell your clients you're going to do things for them. Go out there, get the results, and show them through continued urgent actions. That is what will help you gain their trust and will help build that long-term relationship for years and years to come. Also, separate yourself from the pack and don't forget about this after you've won the client over, because the client can always leave. Don't get too comfortable at any time. As you're delivering your services, make sure you're going above and beyond at all times. Ultimately, this is where most people fall short. It's in the customer service department. Most people and freelancers can do good in the beginning, but they can't stay consistent. It's just like a muscle. You have to work out your ability to continue delivering amazing service, continuing acting with speed, and providing great value. Always using fast communication is one of the quickest ways you can fast track your freelance success. This is how you can separate yourself from the pack, and you can have clients that want to work with you. Next, I'm going to go over how you can keep that line of communication open once you've landed those clients so you can maintain a long-term relationship. One of the great strategies I like to use is to send clients weekly and monthly reports. So it might not sound like a lot, but it's easy to lose communication with a client. If you don't have it on your calendar and in your CRM, in your reminders to have a weekly reach out to clients, they will begin to forget about you because whatever is out of sight is out of mind. So you don't want them to ever see how much they're paying you and wonder, what are they even doing for me again? You need to be in their face with all the value that you are providing. And a great way to do that is through weekly updates and reports. So no matter what skill set you're providing, there's always a way to provide a written update and to provide some sort of screenshot or report to show the value you are delivering. You can also call people, update them on a regular basis, and stay creative with the different ways you get in touch. You always need to think about exceeding your customers' expectations every day. That is how your clients will stay with you for the long term. Here is a stat that will help you on your freelance journey. 80% of customers say that the company they're working with does not have the context of their last conversation. This is massive because just by keeping good notes, you can separate yourself from 80% of the other freelancers out there. If you want to maintain and foster those relationships with clients that are mutually beneficial and profitable on both ends, make sure you keep track of what you discussed in your last conversation with them. This will help you not only follow up with them, but also it will help you have more ammunition and firepower every time you're on an update call with them. So how can you combat this? You can keep good files on people. Like I've been saying throughout the entire academy, it's in the Profitable Tools and Apps handout, HubSpot Free CRM. This is what it looks like when you log in and you create your account. You can build different profiles on every customer that you've gotten in touch with. You can log notes, emails, calls. You can even build out reminders and tasks and activities. You can keep notes on things like what the last call consisted of, what your next steps are, what's the client doing in their personal life. You need to pick up on all of these things. So for example, if the client says that they have kids and they need to go run their kids to karate practice, keep that in mind because on the next call, that's a great way you can break the ice. And that's a great way you can show that you're more relatable and you're not just in it for the business, but you're really in it to build that long-term relationship and you care about the client. Clients want to know that you're there to help them, not just to make money. So this is all ammunition and more firepower you can use. This is follow-up gold that will separate you from the pack. All of this information will help you foster long-term profitable relationships with other business owners. Another amazing feature that HubSpot has is you can even track if a client opens up one of your emails. I love this feature and not many freelancers even know about this. So it's another way you can differentiate yourself and get more data on what your clients are doing. So if you know that a client opened your email but they didn't get back in touch with you, you know you should probably follow up and get to what that pain point is or objection. On the other hand, if you sent over a quote or another proposal and you know that they haven't opened it yet, you can continue following up and asking if they've seen it yet. This is just more and more behind the scenes data you can use to build those long-term relationships. So if you haven't done it yet, go ahead to the Profitable Tools and Apps, click on the HubSpot link and get your free CRM started. So now that you use HubSpot to log all of your notes with your clients, the next step is to begin sending your clients weekly updates and reports of what you worked on. I also like to include a report from a program called Optimizer, which shows all of the Google ad performance in the previous period. I can send them a PDF with a paragraph or two discussing what went on in the last week and what I've been working on. Lastly, I like to outline my next steps to show the client I'm always working on that next thing. Your goal when you're working with clients is to be as transparent as possible throughout the entire process. So clients always want to be able to be kept in the loop. Even if things aren't going good for a certain period of time or challenges come up, make sure you're transparent. Bring that up to them immediately. And that's why having these weekly ongoing updates and reports is one of the ways you can do that. It will really help you separate yourself from the pack again, because a lot of freelancers will fall off. Everyone can stay consistent for a couple weeks or a couple months, but it's only the true profitable freelancers that can stay consistent year in and year out. You can also head over to the Profitable Tools and Apps handout. Under the reporting section, I include some links to other software and tools and websites you can use to show your clients the value that you are providing. So depending on your skill, that is the type of update and report you are going to send out. Now that we've spoken about how you can manage clients, now let's talk about how you can really retain them for the long term. And that takes understanding what it means to be an asset to a company versus what it means to be a liability to that company. When you're an asset to a company, you are someone that becomes part of their team that delivers value on an ongoing basis. This is what it's all about. It's all about immersing yourself in that company, in your client's company culture, and becoming part of their team. Of course, as a remote freelancer, you're not going to be in the office with them, but you're going to be in their minds and in their virtual network. You're going to be delivering as much value as you can and working with every person on that client's team that you need to deliver the best service possible. When you show the client you're not just in this for the money and you want to become a part of their team and you're showing them through your actions, that's when you can really secure those long-term relationships. Some ways I like to do this is go above and beyond what my job is. So if I'm just providing Google Ad services for a client, I'll also send them different suggestions on how they can improve their website or different content they can use so we can run them in ads down the line. As you can see, that might be outside of the scope of work, but it's showing that I'm going above and beyond in specific areas, which shows that I want to become part of the client's team. And trust me, business owners will appreciate that. Next, you want to be proactive and not reactive. Being a liability means you are a threat to the company. And if you are reactive and you let problems happen before you go and solve them, that is when you are not going to be able to secure that relationship for the long term. So instead of being reactive, be proactive. As the great Warren Buffett said, if you got a problem, tell me quick. And I like to say, better yet, do everything you can do to be proactive to solve those challenges before they even turn into a major issue. Rather than reactive, where you wait for things to break and then you go and try to fix them, make sure you're being proactive and you're keeping track of where everything's at so you can prevent issues in the first place. Clients will love you for that, and that will show them that you're an asset and not a liability. Next, prove that you want to be there in order to separate yourself from the competition. Show them with the value that you're providing that you want to earn their business every single month. Just because that is a client of yours, show them that you are approaching this like you can lose them at any time. The world is a very competitive place. There are so many different freelancers and choices for anything a client needs done. And this makes it difficult because if you're not delivering that value, a client may leave, but you need to make it difficult for that client to go anywhere else. And the way you do this is by showing that you deliver so much value that no freelancer, even if they go to them, can provide a higher level of service. Not only that, but you've now integrated yourself as part of the client's team and an asset to their company. This is how you build a profitable freelance business. shift your mindset towards becoming an asset versus a liability. And lastly, understand the common customer complaints. When you arm yourself with all of the common customer complaints and the different things that can come up on the journey, you can be more prepared to handle them before they even occur. This is a great way you can have those objection responses and complaint responses ready to go throughout the entire client journey. This will help you manage and maintain those clients for the long term. Now you know how to manage and maintain long-term clients so you can be the most profitable freelancer possible.